Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
See you on Monday. No, you won't. I'm going away. Thank you.
Hey, Alice. Good, how are you? I'm good, how are you? Good.
They say that August is the Sunday of summers.
Oh, well, yeah, that's probably a good way to put it.
Last of a 3-day weekend, but in 3-month terms.
Right, right. Well, I don't know.
I feel like summer still goes into September, part of October even.
Yeah. Yeah, I think about them. Right now. They're active. They're calling someone.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of good houses listed lately.
Yeah, I have too. In that price point, it's been hard to find.
Yeah.
Better about checking the new listings every morning. Somebody has notified. Oh, I was just constantly doing something.
Probably not the only one.
Yeah, that's right. That's why they say, you know, if you're checking that stuff into everything. Hey, Michael.
Hey.
So what about at the winery? Things busy there, or does it slow down in August?
A little bit, yeah. This week's been a lull because students are coming back, and you know, families with kids are going back to school as well, or at least getting prepared to go back to school. So all of the
Yeah, I don't know what's the date that start up.
I just feel like all over the state, you know, it's staggered, but
Yeah.
because of our
Yeah.
location, we're a little bit more of a tourist destination. Just because I've had plenty of people who've seen pictures and heard about our food. So not everybody comes in for wine tasting. A lot of folks just stop in to see the place and
Oh,
get
really?
a quick bite to eat,
Oh.
just to take a couple pictures.
Actually, somebody told me I need to go by that place, because they've got this new yard, they're trying to figure out how to landscape, I want to put in a vegetable garden, I said,
Yeah,
I've got to figure out some deer
We've got-
fence.
we've-
He said,
we've
yeah,
got-
I said, "You better."
I just put in a new one.
I'll be coming by, but, well, I don't know if I'll drink some more when we come. I'm newly, as of, I think I'm like 5 days into it, 6 days into it, I'm alcohol free.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Trying to see how long you
really,
can go.
really sad to say this, but I feel so much better.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard that. I've been cutting back on the days of even just like 1 or 2 beers at the end of the day, or like glasses of wine, just because they all add up. They all catch up.
Well, they do, and the thing is, I mean, you know, I'm way older than you. I mean, I've been drinking, you know, a little bit, not heavily, but a little bit every day for so many years.
Exactly.
This is huge help, and you do build up a tolerance. Like I can, on any Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night, I can put away half a bottle of wine.
Right. You know, that's where you get.
And if I'm not thinking about it, I can put away a bottle of wine.
Right.
At the end of the evening, I'm like, we have that wine. Shit, I'll drink that.
Pace it out over 3 hours or whatever, but then.
Yeah, it's over the course of the evening, but it's too much.
But it is noticeable when you either 1, go to the gym, or 2, take a couple days off.
Yeah, right. So
Definitely
anyway,
leads you to be a little bit more lethargic, a little.
you know, that's
Just kinda groggy.
terrible. It's
Yeah, yeah.
just so hard. I'm like, wow, what happened? Oh,
I find as long as you're burning, if you're burning it all off, if you're burning it all off, like if you go to the gym a couple times a week, then it all figures itself out. I
do that, but I've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I don't get to the gym as much as I
I'm
should.
alcohol free. I'm very sad about it, but I feel really good.
We'll do that for the rest of us.
Yeah, I'm all I am. I don't know how to do negative alcohol.
Would you do this?
That's 6 days in.
You. This is about to be my next project.
What's that?
A specific geographic part.
Oh, yeah, I just really stepped up my program on that, so I thought.
What have you found that has worked?
Well-
Are you doing mailings or are you doing door to door? Or what are you doing?
No.
I think I might go door to door in some neighborhoods,
Oh, really? Yeah.
especially ones that I lived in.
Yeah, if you know people there.
Well, I'm just more confident because it's been like, I lived on this street for 3 years at one point, and I've definitely seen you pass by. It's easier to say something like that to someone than a random realtor in your neighborhood farming for clients. You want to buy? You want to sell? Yeah, exactly. I have no relationship to why I'm here except to generate business. So it's definitely, yeah, it's definitely a little bit more comforting. Well, even some of the neighborhoods, you gotta be aware of people that are already working with other realtors, and that could be some, not that Charlotte's supposed to fair game for everybody, but you know how certain realtors have certain neighborhoods and certain streets.
Oh,
Yes, has seen ours.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
They like,
Oh, yeah, they really,
they,
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
No worries. All right, so we're talking about geographic farming today, and I'm always adding. Just gotta get Barney to put his clock on 10 minutes.
I know.
Need to be there at 10 of 10. Well, it's funny because I just walked out, so let me make another copy because I'm sure Barb can walk in right behind me.
You did say that.
No, consistent. Consistency is a good thing. We actually used to call that Young Life term. I was on Young Life when I was working with Young Life, high school kids and stuff. And that's it. The leaders. I mean, it was just like everything, camps, whatever. Everything would start to get people just kind of wandering, you know. Or Hawaii.
Jamaica too.
Yeah.
So, we gave, on one of our mission trips, we gave a watch to the pastor.
Oh, so you would get there in time.
Not to start.
I used to go to this church in St. Louis, and we had a liquor store, it was a big chain, it was called 9, what was it, 9/11? Yeah, 9/11. And I would go to the 9 o'clock mass, and he would say, he goes, I call this the liquor mass, because everybody walks in at 9/11.
I guess as he doesn't make that joke anymore, now that you think about it.
Yeah.
That's such a different time.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, we talked about geographic farming, but you can also take exactly what we're learning this morning and put it right into your sphere of influence networking as well. The wording is changing, some different things, but if you're doing some sort of handout to your geographic farm, there's no reason why you can't use it for Popeyes into your sphere of influence. So as we talk about it, just remember there's this parallel, sort of opportunity in regards to your sphere of influence. And I can't emphasize enough this whole aspect about doing business by referral only, and just how it works. And the reason that I think geographic farming fits into that is that if you establish a geographic farm area properly, it becomes a referral network. You start doing business by referral because people are just constantly, calling you. In fact, I'll go out and sample in a minute. Yona, who couldn't be here because she's getting ready to go to Austria to see some family, some elderly family, maybe for the last time, unfortunately. She sold a listing in Orange. It was a Maury Atkins listing. She sold it to an investor. Out of that, she realized, wow, this is a great price range, 1,200 square foot duplexes. So she decided she was going to make that into a strategic market area. She's now, I think, on her 4th listing in there. The other 3 have worked, and the other 3 have sold just like that. Let me just look at it. She left me a note, but she, she just did a little postcard, and boom.
Where's Orangedale?
I'm just trying to picture that map as well.
It's more for chewy.
Huh.
That's the area
Oh,
that
in town?
yeah, Fry, like Cherry Ave, Fry Springs-ish,
Yeah. Johnsonville.
close to Fifeville.
Yeah, 20 months.
Yeah.
No, I want to know if was she giving this handout she was putting the handout for the duplexes for renters to buy or for folks to sell their investors to sell their duplex to then get another investor in to buy it? I wonder. Yeah. Because there's some pretty good investment opportunities going around town right now too.
In terms of what?
Just to,
Rental.
any rental or duplexes, yeah.
Which I moved some stuff on my desk, so then I couldn't find it.
So, I mean, just a simple, go ahead. The farming strategy, so this is for her to get folks to sell their, okay, I didn't know if it was to get investors.
Could be, and then we'll talk about that. They're all,
Some of these duplexes run by, investors.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, it's perfect, it's close, and now with Fifth Street, with Wegmans and everything, it's become. Yeah, it's right, it's actually right, just right down from Cherry and on Fifth Street, you just go down the hill and take a right.
Connects Fifeville to one area to.
No, not really, it's on this side, it's on the Forest Hills, on the side of Cherry Avenue. But you can get there from Fifeville, coming, from the university, past the corner restaurant.
Prospect.
Just keep on.
That's how I usually get through, actually.
But anyway, the point being is that she saw that as an opportunity. She started to market it, and now it's producing, repeat business. And so it's a long-term process, as you see in the outline. Time absolutely should be spent making sure you pick the right area. Some people say, "Oh, I'm going to farm this area," and I go, and hey, next. I say, why are you going to do that? There's only 3 houses or 2 houses that sold there in the last 2 years. You're going to spend all this time and energy. That's just not the right place. But anyway, so it's really important to pick the right area. And also, you want to make sure that it's an area that's not being controlled by another realtor already. Your due diligence will show that. Run the CNA and see, just see the neighborhood. When you start seeing, okay, let's say there's a, Still Meadow neighborhood that's got 250 homes in it or whatever. You run the last 2 years, you're going to see if somebody predominantly is listing.
Well, but let me ask you that, because that's a little bit tricky, because the good neighborhoods, they're already good.
So we're going to talk about that. Okay, so, the point being is it's not being controlled by another realtor, right? So there may be 12 homes that come on the market in there and they get 3 of them. Well, there are 9 others, right? And they maybe get 3 of them because they're expensive, but they're not doing the things that they need to do that if you do one, you're going to differentiate yourself to the point where they say, well, maybe we ought to call Barb instead of whoever that is. There are people that are doing it just on their, their past history, if you will. And if we're diligent, but that's the thing you want to do. If you're going in and 12 houses sold this year and 9 of them are listed by now, they've got a pretty good stranglehold on that. The neighborhood that I farmed when I was selling back a long time ago, 30 some years ago, was a neighborhood that, back then the average sales price, I was the first person to sell a house over 100,000. And they were 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom houses on half-acre lots. Just outside of Ruston. But by the time I finished, I literally was getting 3 out of every 4 listings. And when I didn't get one, I was really ticked. How dare you not listening to me? What are you thinking? Kind of thing. And it just, invigorated me to do more. Gosh, what did I do? And it turns out people at the age of Hey, June, you want to make a copy of this real quick?
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, that's fine. But anyway, the point being is that, you know, the other one may have been somebody who sold them the house and stayed in touch with them or whatever, but I mean, literally, I controlled that 275 home neighborhood. And going back to what you said, out of that, half of those people ended up, when they left, they bought something else with me. So the effort wasn't just to get the listings, it was to get them as they moved up. Or from time to time, and we'll talk about this, I'll send something in that says, hey, great investment opportunity. Well, they already trust you. You've earned the right because you're the realtor in that neighborhood. And you send something like this out, say, hey, it's a great investment opportunity if you've ever thought about owning real estate. Let me know. And there you go. Another thing, you've got neighborhoods, and just kind of get my head of myself, but just trying to give you the ideas. Absentee owners, they're different than people who live in the neighborhood. Most realtors do not market to the absentee owners because it takes more time. Most realtors, if they're going to try to market into an area, they're going to send something out that says resident or friend or neighbor. Well, the owner of that property isn't going to get that. The person who's renting that property is going to. So again, you send in the absentee owners, you send something out to their actual addresses. So they're getting something about their neighborhood that no one else is sending them. And you know the absentee owners, you send something into the renters. Hey, see that you're renting in the area. Here's a rent versus buy analysis. You're spending probably $1,200 a month in rent. This is what you could buy. If you ever thought about, you know, buying instead of renting, please let me know. And me and you know, Jay Dominic during the you know, Ice Cream Social yesterday talked about this incredible new program that Movement Mortgage is offering where you can co-brand with him. And it's an open house registration thing where people sign in. There's ways of creating drip campaigns where things get sent out. And same thing with this, you send that out into an absentee owner scenario to the renters. And Jay does the rent versus buy analysis as part of it. And if you're thinking about selling, you know, please reach out to Jay or me. They reach out to Jay. Hey, I got this situation. They know they got it from Bart, so then he hands them off to Bart, so say these people are qualified to buy. But the point being is, the time spent picking the right area is so important. The due diligence that you put into a particular geographic farm is really important because you don't want to make a mistake. Other prospecting activities that could be done while waiting for the farm area to become productive. You've got a handout here, the 5-point strategy for becoming a star. And you know, just so you kind of get an idea of the things that you should be doing on a regular basis. And you can use the prospecting into the farm area to do those things. So, you know, as far as choosing the right farm area, the first thing you want to do, I mean, June already knows she wants to kind of focus herself into Scottsville because that's where she's from, that's where she knows everybody. So that's going to be different. She's going to do it a little bit differently than somebody who's doing just a close, tight neighborhood like Greenbrier or Raintree or, you know, Belvedere or whatever. That's a community where, you know, everything's kind of the same. And whereas in Scottsville, you got lots of different scenarios. So the way she figures out which homes she wants to do is going to be different than somebody else. But first, either spend time driving around, looking at areas you like, or pick an area by style or price range. The thing that I would tell you to do is find an area that if you were in that price range, you would buy there. Because you want to be enthusiastic about it. Whether it's Orangedale in the 130s, like that's what the price range is, I want to live here. If you don't want to live there, then I would second guess whether I'm going to really do something in there. If I'm in the 250 range, 350, if I'm in a place behind a townhouse or whatever. Or, you know, if I was in the higher price range, this is where I'd like to live. Now you want to be careful, again, you want to be careful about the higher price ranges because the higher price range you get, the better chance somebody already has a realtor. If I'm going to follow up with anybody as a realtor, I'm going to follow up that person who bought a $800,000 house from me, right? So you got to be careful about that. Because even people who are looking to buy in those neighborhoods oftentimes already have an agent, just because they're in different price range. So choose it. Look for good turnover. You're going to run the tax records. So you're going to go into, if you're in the county or the city or whatever, you're going to run the tax records for that. that community. And you're gonna see how many homes are in there, right? And then with how many homes, then you're gonna go into the MLS and you're gonna look for good turnover. So what that means is, say there's 200 homes, you wanna have at least 10 homes, or take it back, if there are 200 homes, you wanna have at least, at the worst, 5 or 6 homes that sell in a year. The higher that percentage, the better, because the more chance that you're gonna have of really turning that into a scenario, but no less than 5%. You want to choose an area. I'm not sure I have that handout. I'm going to have to find that when it says see handout. I think what I'm showing there is how that all works, but I don't think I printed that one. Let's see. Choose an area you can realistically make personal contact with everyone every 3 months. So in other words, if it's going to be 300 homes, you divide that by 60 days, that's 5 contacts a day. Realistically, and the reason it's 60 days is because that's only, you're going to do it 20 times a month, right? You're going to take days off. You're not going to do it every day, right? So if 5's too many, then don't start with 300. Start with 200. You know, find a number that you're going to realistically be able to make contacts with people on a quarterly basis, because the key to the geographic farming, as with spirit influence farming, is that consistency, that you're front of mind. You're earning the right to be their realtor. And if you're not creating personal relationships with those people, people are going to continue to use other people. You know, good example in my neighborhood, Still Meadow, you know, we've sent things out in there from time to time, but I don't sell, so I'm not going to go around and introduce myself to everybody. And so other people continue to get the listings in that neighborhood. I truly believe that if you go into a neighborhood, you do the things we're talking about here, and within a year, you've made personal contacts 3 or 4 times with those people. Everything that you send them, or anytime you call them, it's no longer a cold call. It's no longer a cold piece of mail. They're getting something from somebody who they are getting to know. It's that whole build rapport, gain credibility, show people you care, that we talk about all the time.
So that first time is a cold call. You go ahead and knock on the door first.
You know, and personally, we'll talk about that, but personally, the first thing should be mailing, maybe the first couple of things. I wouldn't go and knock on the door the first time. I would send something like that, just listed, just so in almost every neighborhood you pull up, Roy Wheeler's been involved in transactions. So one of the first things I do is say, hey, you know, I'm specializing, I want to specialize, but I'm specializing in your neighborhood. And just wanted you to know that Roy Wheeler the last 6 months has participated in the sales of boom, boom, boom. And it could be on the listing side or the buyer side.
So we can do that, even if these are both my listings or my sales.
No.
They're Roy Wheeler.
Yeah, just go to the other agent and say, would you mind if I borrow? If I borrow your listing, I'd ask to do it. But all you're doing is it's a question of semantics, but we've just participated. But it's got your name on it. So they see we've just participated. We is Roy Wheeler. But when they're looking at the picture and they're seeing your name, they're thinking Michelle Pipe. Right?
Well, the listings belong to the company, they don't belong to the company.
Right, but I would ask you, because what you don't want to do in most situations, like,
Don't just take that from Yona and not tell her.
Yeah.
Any agent.
No, but that's a great point. Yona is now marketing. She's not going to agree. Shame on her if she did agree. Oh yeah, go ahead and send stuff out in Orange. Right, because she's now has a fair amount of success in there. But there's so many others, and you can still use these. It doesn't have to be that particular neighborhood to be in the
that
area.
price range, and even though it's not in
That's
your
right.
neighborhood, you can just show next to the houses in their price.
That's exactly right. That's exactly.
So how do you make sure another agent's not already invested in it?
Well, again, you run the MLS. It's very clear. You pull out the listings. Just put in sold. Put January 1st, 2016 through August 20, whatever today is, 4th, 2000, or January 1st, 2016, August 20 something, 2017. Put up sold, and you're going to see very quickly on the sold side, on the listing side, and you can actually create
mapping.
Well, you just you customize a report,
right,
and just add in listing agent, selling agent. You create your own report, and it can be easily printed out. Go to Orangedale, sold, use my farm report, and and it prints out MLS number, address, list price, sold price, listing agent, selling agent, and you can just very quickly get a feel for.
Do you think for certain neighborhoods though that are a little bit more established, you might want to do like a little bit longer research, like a little further back because they've had such a presence? I mean, maybe the last 2 years was a good for them, but you know, if you search a little bit further back, is it not as relevant? Probably
If
at that
the
point.
last 2 years have been good with it, then it's a good time to go in there and get it.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, why wait? You know, 3 years ago, the guy hit 350.
Right. I hear what you're
Now
saying.
he's hitting 280, and you know, maybe we're gonna find somebody to replace
But just because somebody's in there working doesn't mean you can't
Yeah, that's it.
farm to them, and it doesn't mean that these people won't switch.
it. That's what I'm
Well,
saying.
if they
That's
talk
what I
to the
said.
neighbors, they're probably gonna bring up the fact that they got the same alien conversation if it's relevant to the conversation, of course.
So again, if you do what we're gonna talk about here, and the other agent isn't doing these things, you're absolutely right. Because you're gonna develop a personal relationship, and most people make decisions with their heart rather than their head. And so you develop that personal relationship, you do things in the neighborhood that make the neighborhood a better place to live. When they get ready to list, they're gonna think twice, or best yet, they ask both of you in. All you want is the opportunity to earn the right. And you're absolutely right, you can absolutely.
But I would say to June's point, if it's somewhat in-house, you've got to navigate that. I was in a very sharp elbowed business, but
Yeah.
it's somebody, if I worked with you, same firm for 10 years, and in theory, your firm controlled your clients. When another guy left to go to Merrill Lynch, you didn't, I mean, the gentleman's agreement was you didn't go, because he was a friend.
She's not talking about.
No, but she could have been though.
Yeah.
She could have been. And I think that's a tougher thing to
I
navigate.
think that's what we just talked about. You wouldn't want to
It's
go in and.
respectful if
Right.
their agents working in the same firm,
Right.
it is respectful to do that.
Yes. Sorry, it's too bad that June has
Although
spent
I
the
would
last
never
6 months in
farm
rehab.
Yeah, that's right. Well, it's,
Honestly, the reason I am targeting
yeah, listen to this,
Scottsdale,
it's interesting.
this is the reason I'm gonna target Scottsdale, I'm gonna do it pretty heavily, is because my old firm that I was the principal broker of for almost 2.5 years, my friends who have called, one of them just listed a house over in Buckingham, but she called the whole firm and they said, oh, she's no longer in business, she's not gonna well.
Oh.
This is my family,
Yeah,
folks.
yeah, no, that's when you
It's
take
my
off the
uncle's
gloves.
company, and this is my cousin sitting down there, and he's running, he's just a salesperson, he's running an agency, which is against so.
He's not coming to Thanksgiving dinner, come on.
Oh, I'll let anybody that thinks, anyway, I just.
No, I think
But
that,
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I have to do that to
Sure.
protect myself and to keep my good name out there, because I have a good reputation in
Yeah.
there.
as you should,
And they're kind of, you know.
trashing you.
Yeah,
I mean,
they are.
that should really probably play to your favor though, considering you've already had so much exposure with these people, just to remind them, hey, I'm still a realtor. Or like, you haven't heard from me.
Yes, but I
changed
have to do
business or something.
this, I have to do this because I sold so much in that area. And, you know, now I'm doing some in that area, but they have really taken away the belief that people have that I'm even still doing real estate.
Did you send out an announcement when you joined here?
I sent out a bunch of them, and I sent, no, I didn't send announcements, did I send announcements? I sent announcements, and I did some Christmas cards to really close people, but, you know, it's just one of those places that
Yeah.
if you don't stand up for yourself, you ain't going nowhere with
Yeah.
it, so.
As long as you stop at key, that's fine with me.
Hey.
So, again, the bottom line is, it makes no sense to beat your head up against the wall. So just, you know, as you do your due diligence and you see it, come to me and say, you know, because there's some agents where I say, I think you could beat them out. There are other agents I say, man, those folks they're killing it. And so, you know, let's find someplace else where you're not having as much, or find an area that is producing, so you have the revenue coming in, and then decide to compete against somebody. You know, don't put all your eggs in one basket. So in setting up a farm area, running the individual forms for each property and tax records, I mean, I know this sounds old school, but even today, even though you get it all in a database and everything like this, this is a really cool thing. You run the individual forms out of tax records, so you print out every property, 3-hole punch it, put it in a binder. And again, you want to make sure you're considering marking which ones are absentee owners. In fact, you might even have the whole list, in one part of the binder, and then have an absentee owner list and have it separated. Because it's going to be a completely different scenario.
Okay, so just to get you the nuts and bolts here, is there a way to go into the tax records and like pull up everybody in the neighborhood and just say you want all the
Yeah.
records?
Yeah, and you can get it all in, just GIS street in the list, will have every single person.
Well, I know just a
It's a
list, but
separate-
it's not like all the
There's
information.
a way of transferring it into an Excel spreadsheet.
But you're just getting like the names and the addresses, or you're getting like the full sheet on everybody.
You can open it up, or
you
you
can
can
open
just click on it and it'll.
That's what I'm saying, so you have to.
She's talking about getting them all at the same time. I don't know. I haven't talked to Chris about that.
Okay, so what you're talking about, just getting the list.
You might still
I
have
don't know. I'm talking about each
property.
property, so you see what it's assessed for, when it last sold, that kind of thing. Because what you're gonna do is you're gonna have that, and then the next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna run all the past solds. And you're gonna attach that behind it. So if somebody calls you tomorrow, Michelle, and says, hey, thanks for the card, I'm interested in selling my house, you can immediately open up your binder and go, oh yes, Mr. Samuels, you live at such and such and such and such, and I saw that you bought it back in 2003.
Those pages have a lot of information.
Oh, yeah, they do, but I don't know.
That's a great question. I don't know if you can do it, you can just say print all, and it'll, the sheets, the property description sheets.
I know
You can get
how
all
to
the
do that.
addresses.
I know how to do that.
I don't know, I think you have to
I think you have to
individually
open-
click on the map. Well, GIS, yeah, it's gonna be a long switch. You have to click on the map of GIS and then print that page and then go to the next property and print that.
You know what I
page.
always do? I pull up a subdivision or I pull up a
Right.
street.
Yeah, by
Yeah.
street.
Because usually I'm looking for somebody to see who owns a particular property. So that's why I do that. And
Yeah, I don't know the answer, Michelle. My guess is that might have to be individually printed. And then you're gonna run all properties currently on the market with a picture and a map, which is great now with paragraph stuff. You can do that so easily. And then the next thing that's really important is what's on the market. Then you're gonna attach the sheets, obviously, the tax record. You're gonna just put them right in behind so that each one, you're gonna start creating a history about that property. And then you wanna preview those properties. And when you preview them, you wanna take the binder with you. Because as you open it up in the house, or you want to make some notes on the sheet.
on your tax sheets.
No, on the actual listing sheet.
Don't they have to actually be listed for you to review?
Yeah, that's what I said. Run all the properties currently on the market. And so what you're gonna do is you're gonna take that, you're gonna take whatever you take to show property. And when you're in there, you're gonna make notes, you come back, you 3-hole punch that, put it into your binder with that tax record sheet. So again, what you're doing is you're beginning to create a history. If you start doing this, if you're really serious about farming, you're gonna be farming it for a long time. And you're gonna have information that no other agent's gonna have. You know that a house sold because they put it on Facebook. Well, you're gonna pull all that information up and put it in your notes. This house sold for such and such, never went on the market. It sold for this because they did it on Facebook or they did it on Zillow. So when you go to do your CMA on a particular property and the person says, well, nobody else told us about this house. And you say, well, the reason I didn't tell you is because it was never on the MLS. But because I track our neighborhood so closely, I have that information. And that's the kind of information you want to have. It's the kind of agent you want to have that really understands the neighborhood. Just that alone could cause them to say, you know what? We didn't know that house sold for $450. We thought we were only going to be able to get $425 for a house. And just that alone could cause somebody to say, thank you for that information. Yes, you're the person I want to list with. And then you're going to run all the properties under contract, sold, withdrawn, expired. And you're going to attach these sheets to the tax rate. So you're going to go all the way back as far as you can. And pull up, a particular neighborhood and put in expired listings, and don't put a date range. And it will pull up everything that's ever expired. It'll pull up everything that's been withdrawn, sold, whatever the case may be. And as you can see, now all of a sudden you've got, this is why the notebook has to be kind of big. Depending on if you're doing 200 or whatever, you're going to have several sheets on each property. And then what you're going to do with your database, with your contact management system, is you're going to have this, specific information, the name, address, the phone number, when you last talked to them, that kind of thing. But you're also going to know that you've got this backup, document, this backup scenario. And here's the thing: there's 1, 2, 3. There's 7 of us in this room. And, I'm going through this. I'm telling you how to do this. I've taught this class for forever. I can pretty much count on a couple hands who've done this well, and they now control markets. But everybody else is too much work. Just don't do that. There's a guy in Northern Virginia, Pat Flynn. Some of you have met Pat. He's been down here to teach. He's also a Feeney guy. I see in Richmond. We've been at it. He farmed an area and sent these kind of postcards out, like I told him to do. He put American flags in everybody's yard at the 4th of July, but he never went and met the people. And after a year, he said to me, "Michael, nothing's happening. I'm spending this money." And I said, "Pat, you got to go meet the people. You got to go meet the people. Make a commitment on this next quarter to go meet every single one of those people. You've earned the right. You've given this information. You did American flags. You did blah, blah, blah. They're going to know who you are. All you're doing now is knocking on the door and saying, 'Hey, I'm Case Sales from the Village. Kay, you're the one who put the American flag in there.' Yeah, I just wanted to personally introduce myself and let you know that I would love the opportunity to earn the right to become your realtor, should you decide, or if you know somebody else that's thinking about buying or selling. Would you like to communicate? No, I just want to stop by and say hello. But if at any time you'd like for me to come by and talk about what your home was, I'd love that." And then Kay makes a note, comes back to the office, as she always does. She writes a very beautiful thank you note. "Dear such and such, it was really great to meet you. Thank you for knowing that I'm the one who took the American flag there." Whatever the case may be. Within a year, Pat controlled that market. By the end of the second year, he was getting 5 out of 7 listings because he made the person.
He did that too. You put this flag.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not teaching you guys anything I haven't done. I promise you. And here's the thing. I said to somebody, all this can be done. You don't have to. The American flags have to make some money, right? All this can be done for nothing. You can create the flyer that you want to drop off at somebody's house. Just a black and white printed on the copier. Go out, 6 months sales summary. You don't have to mail it. Go and knock on the door. "Hey, I'm Jim. I'm the realtor fan. I thought you might be interested in knowing what's happened in Scottsville over the last 6 months. Here's an overview of what's on the market, what's sold. Take a look at it. If I can help you in any way, let me know. Would you like to come in? No, thank you. I don't have an appointment. I just want you to have this information." That is kind of like a Popeye. Just want you to have this information, but take a look at it. If you have any questions, though, please, because what I'm here to do, and again, it's just a simple little thing, but what I'm here to do is earn the right to become your realtor. Now, you can't do this anymore, but my favorite story of the way somebody did this is a guy that I patterned myself after, a guy named Kurt Kuykendall. Played professional soccer for the Washington Diplomats. That's back in the day. As a goalie, we looked exactly alike. We obviously were brothers from a different mother.
Right.
Literally, people thought that I was Kurt. People thought he was Mike. This guy he farmed an area of townhomes. It was like 300 townhomes. Probably $70,000, $75,000 back then. He literally had a backpack. I don't even know where he got it. Had a backpack. It had coffee on one side and tea on the other. And then on the front, he had creamer and sugar and whatever. And this is not a joke. He knocked on people's doors and said, "Hi, Michelle, I'm Kurt Kuykendall. How are you? Great. Hey, I just want to share a cup of coffee. Would you like a black or tea? Creamer?
I would shut the door.
But you never do it now. I mean, never. Don't do that. Do not do this at home.
Is it poison?
Right. I mean, you can never get away with it now. But he literally would say, "I sent you a flyer last week. And I'd just like to have a cup of coffee with you real quick, see if you have any questions." It was just little cups.
He was jacked up too after all that coffee.
Very few of the people accepted it. But they were so taken by it that how do I not use this stuff?
Right.
And then at Halloween, he would order pumpkins. And he would come in a pickup truck with his kids. And they'd get out of the truck, kind of like the firewood guys do. They get out of the truck and all of a sudden their pumpkins going down. And then they have these little 3 and 4 year old kids running with these, because they're little pumpkins. And everybody knew Kurt Kuykendall. And he was amazing, in his office, everything, his whole life was a bar graph. Everything was a goal. I am committed to spending 3 quality hours with each kid this week. These weeks progress, and you see, oh no, I gotta spend some more time with Ben. I'm going to kill 3 deer with a bow this year. I'm an average 20 points a game in my, city league
I'm
basketball.
gonna spend 30 minutes with my wife today.
Exactly. Yeah, that was in there.
30 minutes with my wife.
But as far as this was concerned, he knew that he was going to, he had 300 homes, and they were, let's just for the sake of easy discussion, they were $100,000 each. $100,000 times 3% is $3,000. He knew that that it worked out the way he did it, that every door he knocked on, he made $75. It worked out statistically that if I knock on enough doors, I'm going to get this many appointments, and these many appointments, I'm going to get listed. And so when he'd come home at night, Sherry would say, how'd it go? Great. How much money did you make today? $775. He didn't make any money, but he knocked on enough doors that he knew that $775 was going to come to them because of his efforts that day. And that was the way he pushed through each and every day when he didn't have anything going on, because he knew this was ultimately going to result in something. And it comes down to the fact that he had all this information, and I don't even know if he did this, this is something I put together, but he had all this information. And so when somebody did call him, he was so knowledgeable. And yet they knew him. They knew him as the coffee guy. They knew him as the pumpkin guy. And the one fuzzy aspect of that, even if he was competing with somebody else, he almost always won because they just liked it. And they liked his kids, and they, the whole thing. And one of the things that's really important when you're talking about farming is that you want to make the neighborhood a better place because you're in there. It's not just about listing and selling, it's about making the neighborhood a better and a more fun place to live. And so that's where on page 2, you go, you decide, oh wait, I've got ahead of myself, sorry. Right at the bottom, as the active properties sell, you're going to update them. Obviously, as active property sells, you're going to change it to a pending or under contract or sold, and you're going to change that in there. But again, one of the first things you're going to want to do is you run a market report, 2016 and year to date, and you want to keep an overall analysis of your farm manual. And that way, if anyone asks, how's the market, you can tell them, that you can ask, would you like the latest information? I'd be happy to provide it to you. Okay? And again, there's only one occupation that gets asked more about their business than real estate, and that's being a doctor. You go to a cocktail party, you go to a reception, you go to Fridays after 5, and hey, I'm like, okay, great. What do you do? I'm a doctor. Oh, that is a little I'm an eye doctor, right? I know you went to med school, so you probably know, but think about it. When people find out you're a realtor, what's the first question they ask you? How's the market? And again, you want to be able to not just say, oh, it's great, or well, I'm really busy, or whatever. Say, actually, the market has been really active. It's slowed down a little bit right now. But this is a really, really good time if you're thinking about buying. It's a really good time because right now there's a little lull. And so houses are staying on the market longer. That way, that means there's going to be more of an opportunity to negotiate your price and have an opportunity more to think about what you want to buy versus just being pressured into doing something. So you're adding something that nobody else is adding into it. Now, for me, again, totally view, somebody asks me how's the market, give them that little elevator speech, and they want to keep talking, I will say to them, you know what, I'm here at this wedding to celebrate these people, blah, blah, blah. Would it be okay, please, if you want to give me your number, I'll be happy to call you on Monday. And we can set up a time to get together. You're going to find out if they're serious or not. Oh, no, that's okay. I'm just making conversation. Okay, well, great. Well, if I can ever help you, I'd love to. But I'm going to go, dance with my wife now, or whatever the case may be. But oftentimes people say, well, that sounds great. Super. All right, what time would be good for me to call you? Well, how about Monday around 5? Great, I'll call you Monday around 5. And you, right there on your phone, put it in there. And at 5 o'clock, that phone should be ringing. Hey, Michelle, it's Michael Guthrie. You told me to call you today. When would be a good time to get together? But knowing the market is so important. That knowledge allows you to be natural in responding to things versus, whatever. But then, again, making the neighborhood a better place. You ask the homeowner association for any information related to the neighborhood. Hey, I'm specialized in the market. I'm going to be hoping to have 3 buyers in here, have an opportunity to sell houses. So I'd really like to have the information in regards to, who's in charge here. The board of directors, the covenants, the newsletters. And say, I don't, if you live there, it's great, but if you don't, say, I don't live in the neighborhood, but I'm going to really invest time in there. Is there any way that a non-neighbor can serve in some capacity on your homeowner association? Can I be on the social committee? Or can I, be in the, whatever the case may be? Anything that's not going to make people mad. Don't get on anything that's going to make people mad. Like architectural review, the branch in the front yard has to be cut down because it's dead. Or, your shutters are painted the wrong color. Fun things. Social is probably the best place. And by doing that, oftentimes those officers are the most engaged people in the neighborhood. So they're going to know sooner rather than later if somebody's thinking about selling, or if there's somebody who's interested in buying. If you can build that relationship with those folks, not a reason why they shouldn't be calling you and saying, Michelle, such and such, I think is going to be selling in the next month or two. You might want to reach out to them. So getting started, you've done your due diligence. You find that there's 200 homes that you're going to follow up on, and 20 of them sold last year. So that's a great turnover ratio. And nobody has more than 25% market share there. So there's 20 homes. Somebody's listed 4 of them. That means there's 16 others, that you've got a shot at, and maybe even have a shot at the others depending on how you do it. Right now, this time of year, the first thing I would do is mail out a first half a year sales summary. Obviously, it's going to take a little bit of time to put this together, so maybe you wait till the end of September and do a third, 3-month, and attach whatever I write up in regards to the market report at the end of 9 months. But you want to send that summary to absentee owners as well, and I already talked about that. As you go through the tax records, you send something to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, you send something to Des Moines, Iowa, you send something to Scranton, Pennsylvania. They're probably not getting anything else from anybody as it relates to market. You may be the first person that's ever given them an idea of what's going on. And what's going on over the last couple of years, they may be staggered, they may be stunned that their Orangedale townhouse is now $135,000. Maybe it's time to sell. Because if they thought it was only worth 100, or that their old Brook house, they thought it would sell for 350 and things were selling for 425 or whatever. That may cause somebody to go from passive because they've got a rental property to active. Hey, this may be a great time to put their house on the market. So send it to absentee owners as well. And don't forget, if you want to, and I would encourage you to do it, I would also have a flyer that I send out to those absentee owner addresses, but make it renter specific. Dear friend, dear neighbor, whatever, to the home, and that the person who's renting that's going to get that. And now here's me. This is just me. Some people say, they don't feel that way. I believe in postcards versus newsletters. And the reason being is a newsletter is an envelope, they have to open it. And if they just see this junk mail, it may never get opened. They just, there's the postcard. You pick it, even if it's going to the trash can. Oh, wow, under contract. But they've at least seen it. So your market report, if you're going to do a market report, it needs to be front and back, 8.5 by 11. Try fold it. Don't put it in an envelope. Have a blank, and Debbie and Mary Ann can help you do that. But you have a blank part. It's a flap. That's where the label goes, or the address and the return address. So again, they're not having to open it. They can see what it is. And so again, if the flap, the third of the flap like this, and whatever is on this other side, you want to make it so that if they want to open the rest of it, this is going to be exciting news about the neighborhood, or 6 houses that sold in the last, since I last wrote you, or whatever, so that they go, oh, wow, I want to look and see. Because people do like to know, to keep up to date with what's going on. And yeah, they can go on Zillow and see what things that happen in the neighborhood, and they get estimates and things like that. But you're giving them real live, actual information. And again, if you know that a house sold without an agent being involved, then you wait. You got it in your notebook, and you wait until you know it's closed. You find it in public records that it's closed, and you add that into your sales summary, and you put that address in, and so I go, oh, I never knew that house was working. Oh yeah, it sold in this situation. And going back to what I said earlier, Yeah, and by the way, this information is all in the roadmap for success that we've sent out to you by email. So this is a direct mail contact handout, and what it is a statistical showing you, when you get to I think it's 200 we use as a number, but it statistically shows you that you start mailing and communicating with 200 people, and the average is once every 7 years somebody's going to sell. It shows you what those efforts and how much money you're going to make. It's just, it goes down. You can't find out, I'll get it for you. But this goes back to what we said before, Michelle. After the first 2 mailings, that's when you start calling. And quite honestly, I would probably not call. I'd stop by initially, because then you're not going to worry about do not call list, right? And you don't have to do it all at one time. You got 200. You just, again, you put it into your business plan. Okay, today is that I'm going to spend an hour and a half in the neighborhood. Looks like the next few days supposed to be in the low 80s. Perfect time to go out. And again, it doesn't take much time. You just
Evenings and weekends, of course, because that's the only time people are home.
absolutely. And what I would do is with what I'm taking. So let's say for instance, you mailed out the sales summary. You sent out something just listed, just sold. You want to have something in your hand when you, even if it's just or a flyer about yourself or something, and somewhere it says sorry I missed you. And so you knock on the door, they're not there, and you just put it in between the doorknob and the, you take it and do this, and it becomes a little spring loaded, and you put it between the doorknob and the frame, and it sits right there. Sorry I missed you, look forward to seeing you next time, that kind of thing. Again, every time you reach somebody, take notes. Don't be afraid to leave a message, but call back later. So if you're calling and you're going through the list, even if this is your sphere of influence as well as geographic, the fact that you left a message doesn't mean that you contacted them, all right? But you left a message. And so you go through the whole list of 200 and you start back up at the top and go back through. And until you actually talk to the person on the phone, you're really not checked off. Now, the message is great because it teaches you what you want to say. Hey, this is Michael Guthrie. I'm just calling to check in with you. I sent out the sales summary of your neighborhood. I want to see if you have any questions. Please let me know if I can help you in any way, because I really like to earn the right to become your realtor or help anybody you know who's thinking about buying or selling. My number is such and such. My email is such and such. Have a great day. Just like that. And you're going through it. Every good conversation, you write a personal note. Every conversation where it's more than just, hey, here's the flyer, okay, thanks. They engage you, you feel like you got somewhere with them by phone or in person, a personal note. And just a personal note means, you're at the house and you're walking away and you just make a note to yourself, 2017, Chad's Ford Lane. That they're going to get a note. That may be a renter. So you want to find that out. Now, again, you should know it because you've got your database. When you go up and knock on that door, this person you're knocking on the door because they're a homeowner. This person you're knocking on the door because they're a renter. So find out, hey, if I'm not mistaken, my records indicate that you guys are renting here. Is that correct? Yes. How are you liking it? What do you think of the neighborhood? Blah, blah, blah. When does your lease end?
I've done the other things too, but
Yeah.
good idea.
When does your lease end? Oh, we'll be here till November. Okay, what's your plan after that? Well, we may stay here, we're not sure. Well, I'd be happy to try to help you answer those questions. Go ahead. I'd be happy to answer those questions. Is there a time we might be able to get together? And all of a sudden, nobody's ever reached out to them because they're just a renter. Hold open houses in a move-up neighborhood. That's in the maximizing an open house section in the roadmap. There's a whole section in there about how to hold an open house and how to do it to engage the neighbors versus just trying to attract buyers. Obviously, we're not talking about that today, but my feeling is that you should be holding an open house every month. One of your open houses should be either in that neighborhood or targeting that neighborhood. And what I mean by that is, let's just say, for instance, Michelle is marketing Dunlora. And Dunlora is anywhere from 4 something to maybe below 6s. There may not be an open house to hold in Dunlora, right? But she's holding Profit Ridge open, which is at 800. So she's open house. Now she's going to send an open house flyer into Dunlora saying, I'm holding this house up in Proper Ridge because this is a good stepping stone for Dunlora. So hopefully people in Dunlora see that she's marketing in price ranges that they might be interested in. They call Michelle and they say, hey, I saw that open house flyer. What else is available in that price range? Because we're thinking about, getting a bigger house. Well, now I'm talking with them as a buyer and hopefully ultimately having their listing as well. And then that listing, again, is in my geographic farm. You get my point. Or vice versa. I'm listing a house in in Dunlora. I've got a listing, or Roy Wheeler has a listing in Dunlora. I'm going to hold it open and I'm going to send flyers into Raintree. Because Raintree is a great move-up neighborhood for Dunlora. I'm holding an open house in Dunlora. I'm going to do some marketing around Dunlora to get going with the neighbors. But I'm also going to send a flyer into Raintree, Oldbrook area, saying this is being held open. Love for you to come by. Now I'm getting, hopefully somebody might be interested in buying Dunlora, and I'm going to get a listing in Oldbrook or whatever. So anyway, setting open houses in a move-up neighborhood, send invitations to your farm area, and again, use that as your reason for calling them the next time or stopping by. Hey, I hope you got the invitation that I'm holding the house open down on Dorling Place this Sunday. Love for you to come by and serve some refreshments. If you know anybody else who's thinking about wanting to live in this neighborhood, please let them know. Send this flyer to them and let them know. I'd love to have a chance to meet them. Again, lots of prospecting ideas in the Maximizing Open House section of the farming calendar. Postcard campaign, see Chris for who to use. It's just listed just so postcard or some generic Roy Wheeler postcards. There are lots of different things, and we can customize them to you. We've got where a geographic farm really works is the what do they call it? The Postal Service every door direct. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Where now that's perfect for this because you're sending it just into that carrier route of that neighborhood. It might have a few extras in it, but that's great when you're talking about geographic farming because you get those things mailed at the least expensive number. And the really cool thing about it is it's there the next day. Whereas bulk rate, it can be 10 days. So if you're going to be doing an open house, you can do a flyer or a postcard through Every Door Direct on a Tuesday and know that it's going to be there Wednesday or Thursday. Whereas with bulk mail, it might come in after the open house is over, and you have to even mail it sooner than that. So, and that's something you'll have to pay attention to here in Scottsville because I'm guessing those carrier routes, in a more rural area, you just got to get with Chris and tell
We've
her.
got routes assigned.
Right.
Route one routes.
Right. Okay, emailable flyers from your website, agent profile. Again, you've got an opportunity to create, and Mary can do it for you. You create it, and she can put it together, and then that can go out to your database through, I think it's Constant Contact is who we use. And again, be the first to create a Facebook page for the neighborhood. So once you decide on a neighborhood, look and see if there's a Facebook page. And if there is, just find a different name. Friends at Belvedere instead of Belvedere Subdivision or whatever. And you create a Facebook page, and now you start inviting people into that. And you're providing them really, good information about what's going on in Charlottesville, or day trips from Charlottesville, or hey, this Saturday is when the Boy Scouts are going to collect food for the Brewery Food Bank. Whatever it is, you start posting events in there, and more people will start coming to that. The other thing I would encourage you to do is look at Nextdoor, NEXTDOOR, all one word. It's a great social media site. The only problem with it is, it's when you can only use this if you're farming your own neighborhood, because you have to have an address to get into it. And but I was fortunate enough a couple of years ago when I think it was Meg talked about Nextdoor. I just did it right while we were in the class, and so Still Meadow, I host that site, and so people see that as Michael Guthrie, host of Still Meadow. You can do the same thing, but the cool thing is you can create it, and then you can get information about the surrounding neighborhoods as well. So it's a really neat, scenario, and I've used it to promote, different things. You want to be careful that it's not business related because people will slap your hand for that. But there are ways of getting around it by just saying, hey, something to be interested in. Now there's a house, coming on the market on Huntington. And, if you're interested in, let us know. Or Simone has put things in from time to time as really, you got to be careful with that. But the point being is, again, you're making your neighborhood a better place. You're giving them recommendations for, power washers or driveway sealers. The people ask questions, and you just constantly are in there answering those questions because you want to earn the right and show that you're a real resource for answers to pretty much anything as it relates to the neighborhood.
We have one, in Lotusville. My husband is on there a lot, and especially because of our move and projects, this and that. So he's been the one to talk to neighbors, not directly on the site, but as he goes for walks with the dogs, they're getting to know him, and the fact that his wife is
Right.
He's come up from the
Yeah, no, but it
he came
will.
in another day and there were a couple of going to say, well, you're gonna sell a house down the street next fall, or something like that.
Right.
Well, okay.
That's great.
Yeah. Be creative. The whole key is setting yourself above anyone else. That what you're doing, people just go, wow, and then they start talking about it. It's like that book, Creating Raving Fans. That what you want to do is just get things moving in a way that people go, wow, did you see what Michelle did the other day? Or wow, did you see that house sold? And you want them, kind of talk about it. We talked about getting involved in the neighborhood, creating, if they don't have one, if there's not a newsletter, offer to do it. Hey, I'd be happy, I don't live in the neighborhood, but I'd be happy to put together information and produce a quarterly newsletter. And if you guys, obviously you talk to the board of directors about this, but if you're interested, I'm happy to do it. We could have an email that says info@whatever neighborhood. I will receive it, collect that information on a quarterly basis. I would send a newsletter out. And
And if you do something like that, can you, you would have, contact Michelle Pike, for information. Can I put Royal Realty?
Yeah.
Or,
yeah, and that's what I do. So what I would do is say sponsored by.
yeah. Okay.
This newsletter is brought to you by or sponsored by Michelle Pike, Royal Realty Company. Yeah. Again, newsletter directory, if there's one, great reason to call. If you can create it or get permission to do it, it's a great reason to call and introduce yourself to everybody. I'm Michelle Pike. I'm going to be putting together a newsletter for the neighborhood. If people want to be babysitters or lawnmowers or handyman, or if there's an upcoming event in the neighborhood that you want to know, here's the email address, and I'm looking forward to helping, improve the communication around the neighborhood. Read the newspapers, critically important in my opinion. Read the newspapers. If there is a homeowners association newsletter, find a way to be on the mailing list. And as you read it and you find things about people in that area, then you want to be able to write notes or call people recognizing them. Wedding pages. You might see somebody who gets engaged, or somebody who made the regional orchestra, or is the lead in the school play, or whatever. And what you're going to do is you're going to end up writing notes to those folks. Dear, to a kid, dear such and such, saw that you were lead in Peter Pan. Hope to be able to get to come see in it. The bottom line to that is, one, it's a great thing to do, and two, who's going to probably read that note first? Is the parents. Oh my gosh, they wrote a letter.
Stay away from my kid.
That's right. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. That's a funny sidelight. When we moved into Stone Meadow, our kids were grown, and we didn't have a dog. So I said, I don't know the neighbors. I don't walk a dog, and I don't have kids. I said, you know what to do? And, yeah, I do now. I said, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take my cup of coffee over to the school bus stop every morning. I'm gonna stand and stand at the bus stop. And Dottie goes, over my dead body. I said, well, yeah, just take over and hang out with the parents. I'm talking to people with kids, and I have a thing. Michael, you are not going to do that. And And, I didn't even think about it, but she absolutely said, you're not doing that.
But the paper thing is a really good thing. I mean, I used to do that, because people don't, half the time it was just friends of mine, I'd see they would like in the Washington Post, they would list some country club, ridiculous co-ed golf tournament or something like that, and I'd see somebody won and copy it, send it to them, and half the time they never saw it.
That's right.
And people appreciate it.
Well, you wrote Henry was cool. After the Sunday.
Yeah, so I'm in a Sunday school class, children's worship class, and they're let's all introduce ourselves, and so they're going around, and, I'm Mr. Michael, blah, blah, and they get around to Henry, Barb's grandson. He says, I'm Henry, and then I get up and I say, I'm Mr. Michael. He goes, he works for Roy Wheeler Realty Company. And I said, Henry, you are the man, buddy. So I dropped him a note. Dear Henry, thanks for the shout out. And the children's worship, deal. So, but no, absolutely. And just an example, great time right this very moment. Just this week, the publication Seagull Best came out. So I would grab one of those, and over the next month, I would go page by page and see different businesses that the people, and I would write them a note. Dear such and such, saw that you were recognized as one of Seagull's best. Congratulations. If I can ever help you in any way, I'd love to do so. It's like to me, again, this is me, the note writer, that thing is like, oh my gosh, it's Christmas. I've got this book now that I can just kind of go through from time to time and just, have a chance, just drop notes to these people. Some people will never respond to you, but you'll see them 2 months later and say, man, that's so much to me that you dropped me a note. Now, that's not geographic farming, that's the sphere of influence, because whether it's an attorney or a hairstylist or a masseuse or hot yoga or whatever, I'm going to guess that most of those people will not get a personal note. People will say, hey, I saw that you were Seagull Best, but very few will say, somebody actually wrote me a personal note, thank you, or congratulate me. And even if you're not going to do it. Lots of times in those ads, they'll have the email address. Do something that you take a step forward to recognize them. Visit the local schools with their permission. But go in and ask for the principal, and go in and introduce yourself as a realtor specializing in the area. How can I help? How can I volunteer to help? I'd love to be involved. Right now, it's maybe a little too late. Probably maybe right on time. Kids have just gone back to school. Somewhere in the next month, they're going to have back to school night. Say, hey, I don't know if anybody else has volunteered this, but I'd love to provide refreshments for your back to school night. Would that be helpful? And you have a little table with lemonade and a little backpack with tea and coffee. Lemonade and you've got your little flyer, Roy Wheeler Realty Company. And so people are going through the classes or coming out of the general session or whatever, they can grab a little cookie, a little lemonade, and they're going to go, wow, that was really nice of that person to do that. And then as you get yourself involved in it, ask if you can get a copy of the honor roll every quarter. And now again, what I used to do is I get that honor roll, and over the next couple of weeks, every kid that made the all-A honor roll got a note from me. And I had this business card made, and Debbie can help you with this if you're interested, but I had this business card made that took my little business card, made it a postcard-sized business card. And I think I'm out of it, that's the reason to bring it in. But on that, all I had to do is write the note, put the address, and it cost less, not because it was a postcard, but no envelope, whatever. And I just have stacks of those, and I would, just sit while I was watching whatever television show, and I'd crank them out. And the nice thing about that, again, is the parents are the ones who usually go to the mailbox. And they're going through things, and they see Michael Guthrie, and they turn it over, and Henry's being recognized, or whatever the case may be.
Sometimes the schools have little things where they ask parents or grandparents or friends living in like they did one in Scottsville one time, and it was career day. So
Yeah.
I went to career day.
Yeah.
And it was real simple because I'm a state accountant, University of Virginia, so I took a calculator.
No.
These kids had a ball with calculator. Everybody got to use the calculator, whatever numbers they put in, they tore their little piece of paper off, and they went on back.
Oh, you had to think it was one of the ones that printed.
That was,
right?
that was some one of the little souvenirs, and they had their little things in it that they did, and they went home and they told their parents. So I got some phone calls.
That's great.
It was before the real estate, but you know, it's still, it was just one of those things that cost me nothing but.
We talked about open houses regularly, for sure. You want to always let people know about new listings that just sold. And then, you know, just the handouts that I've given you here are just some weekly plans for success, and creating good habits, building your market. And then the 5.0 prospecting, open houses, previewing, farming, direct mailing. You know, all of these things can be put into your business plan or the time that you're using to generate the business into the geographic farm or into the sphere of influence networking. And the key is that you commit that 5 days a week, that there's an hour, hour and a half, that's all I'm gonna do. It's about me looking for new business. And in that situation, that's when maybe it's an hour and a half of just walking through the neighborhood and introducing myself. Maybe it's an hour and a half where I'm calling and following up with people. Maybe it's an hour and a half where I'm telling people about an open house I'm doing. You know, if you go into that roadmap for success and go into maximizing an open house area, honestly, one of the things that I say in that training is if you just did this, if you just did what I'm telling you to do for 2 open houses, every 2 weeks you did an open house, and in between those weeks you did all the prospecting for that open house, you wouldn't have to do anything else in regards to finding time and generating business, because all of the things that come in, the previewing, the note writing, the actual open house, the follow-up, takes, you know, several hours. But those several hours, even if nobody shows up at the open house, it's worthwhile because you used it to get your name out in different ways that other agents aren't doing. And I can tell you that it's happened in this office, it's happened in every office I've ever worked in, it happened for me, that when you send those kind of things out, even if somebody's not ready to sell, you send something out and you do it on a consistent basis versus this person is marketing in a way I've never seen before. And if I ever am going to sell my house, and they'll say the stuff. I mean, I literally went into houses and for a listing appointment, they pulled out a folder and they had everything that I'd ever sent about the neighborhood in this folder. We saved every one of these things. So I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. Now, you know, I don't know, now these days, computer, I guess what they do is the electronic stuff, they put it in the microguthrie folder over here on the left. How that works. But anyway, I personally think, I mean, it takes a lot of time, but if you choose the right area and you systematically do it well, with the understanding that I want to get to know every single person in that neighborhood, and I want to make this neighborhood a better place to live because of what I'm doing, good things will come from it. You might do like it's too late now, but like, you know, after the winter, one of the things you might do in February or March is to say, hey, it's time to get out of the house. We're going to do a walk through the neighborhood. It's going to start at the pool, and it's going to end up in my backyard. Or it's going to start at the pool, and it's going to end at the pool. But when you get there, I'm going to hand you a ticket. When you get that ticket, you're going to be entered in for door prizes. And what you basically do is you just have a walk through the neighborhood event where everybody's a winner, because they're all getting this, and you go to Lowe's, you go to different places, you have different giveaways, and you have some refreshments, and it's, you know, kind of the first nice spring day, hopefully, and people, you know, getting out, walking, meeting people, and, you know, those are the kind of things that make the neighborhood a better place, you know. Hey, I'm going to be at the corner of Still Meadow and Brownstone on Halloween night. Stop by because I want to do a drawing, costume party, a costume party. You know, everybody's out, and you're just there. And people walk by, and you take notes, and then you send something out to the neighborhood. Hey, congratulations to David Mitchell's kids for being Humpty Dumpty, or Three Stooges, or whatever, you know, most creative, whatever. And all it takes is just a couple hours, you know, or maybe an hour. I'll be there from 5:30 to 6:30. And you just set yourself up there, and people go by, and you make little notes. And you obviously have candy there for people to drink. And then you got a chance to meet everybody in the neighborhood, or at least people who have kids. And it doesn't have to take a lot, but those are the kind of things that just make Halloween more fun. Somebody in the neighborhood took the time to do that. You might do nicest yard in the neighborhood. Hey, I'm gonna during the months of April to September, we're gonna award somebody the nicest yard in the neighborhood. I'll give a month to walk around, look around, and you send something out. Congratulations to Kay and John Peters for having the nicest yard in the neighborhood in Lockwood. The reason they won is because of blah, blah, blah. And, just may cause people to put some mulch in their yard or do things that make the whole neighborhood look nicer. And there's just all sorts of things that you can do. It doesn't have to cost you much money, if any money at all. I mean, the nicest yard in the neighborhood, you can just get, you're wherever, you guys go to Rest, and you get Rest to do a little gift certificate because you're in there and they know you and whatever. Come up, promote your restaurant. And so the nice yard neighborhood, I need 6 $25 gift certificates. And every month, we're going to award somebody a $25 gift certificate to Rest. And Rest is getting promoted. The restaurant's getting promoted. It's fairly close to the neighborhood. And, non-alcoholic beverages included. So, they can make all the money on the alcoholic beverages. And so ultimately, those $25 gift certificates, they make more money than they lose in regards to what they do. Anyway, all sorts of different things like that. But it's a lot of fun. If you really get into it, it's a lot of fun. It's your work. It's what you do for a living, but it's really fun to make this neighborhood a better place to be. And for people to say, boy, Alex, I sure appreciate the fact that you line the streets with American flags. Or I really appreciate the fact that you are recognized people who have great yards. So, whatever it is. So, anyway. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Today,
This was
when I
only
tell
house
you
that
that
I
I
went
was going
to
on my
Sunday.
cousin
I
was
stopped
classroom
on my way
Virginia
to
came
go
to
to
town in Connecticut. We went to the Pippin Look at your clothes. It's like fast. Yes, that's what they're called. They cost $5. What is there a rule?
Oh,
Wow.
I tell you though,
they keep it maintained, so I don't know those branches. Yes, man, look at that branch. That's
Gotta have money to.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I've got some really good carpet.
but I would recommend that they, in the summertime particularly, they do a couple nights. Well, that's true. And I did talk to the woman there, the woman that came about how many weddings and how many weddings. Unbelievable.
Never seen either. Well, I'm usually down in the bar.
Okay.
And I told her I was going to
I don't know. Do you?
What's your son's name?
No, I went to college. Is he about my age? 29 or 30?
Yeah.
40. Yeah, well, 40. I am a local guy. I've spent my whole life. What about
Great.
Is one more connection by any chance?
It's really good.
Okay, okay. Okay. Well, I grew up in Glenmore from 94. So about 2004.
Yeah.
Jeff Gaffney. Yeah.